You're watching the Sports Business Show on Fan Media Network. Today we're going to talk about coaches, masks, and the political theater in sports. Got nothing to do with coaches. I played sports, had great coaches. My track coach in college is in the Hall of Fame. Liked my coaches. I'm your host, Kirk Berridge. Our guest is Brian. His background is business consulting and software integration. I worked for an NFL team and an NBA team. The NBA announced yesterday that their coaches are going to have to wear masks when they didn't have to this summer. So they'll be joining the NFL with masks. And Brian, my question is, when you see a coach or referee wearing a mask, what does that image make you think?
My first thought when I see a referee or a coach with a mask is I laugh, because the whole business of masking is for putting on a show. It makes me think about, there's a Pennsylvania Congresswoman, Wendy Ullman, who was caught on video telling talking to the governor of Pennsylvania, and she called the masks political theater. So she put it on just for the TV. And so just when I look at these referees and coaches with it on, I think of the same thing, because the masks themselves are useless.
In sports, TV is the biggest revenue for the NFL and the NBA. And so they know that masks are very powerful imagery. And this is what the media wants. And so the leagues have kind of fallen in, and, now the coaches, unfortunately, are being forced to do this stuff. You had coaches like John Gruden, who already got this flu in the summer, and Sean Payton. They've been fined early in the season. There was an NFL memo that went out, and it specifically said coaches must wear their masks when they're on camera. On camera being the key word.
Yes.
Also, what doesn't make sense to me is players are out there breathing and sweating on each other. Mm-hmm. And there's 22 of them on the field, and then they come to the sidelines. And so it just doesn't make sense that a coach would have to wear a mask if the players aren't wearing masks. Obviously, the players cannot wear masks, even though Virginia Tech and Pitt almost agreed to do that based on that Pennsylvania, they got great politicians there, wanted to force, these guys to wear masks. And somehow they got out of it through a loophole, thanks to, I think, the Steelers and Penn State. But what an all-time low. When I see these people, coaches and players wearing masks, and I don't have a TV, I gave away my TV in 2014. But if I'm seeing some highlights on the internet, because really that's all I watch anymore is just highlights, or if I'm walking by, a TV, and I just see a coach or a referee wearing a mask, I immediately want to turn it off or look away. Don't the leagues get it that fans don't like this stuff,
It's the whole monkey see, monkey do nonsense. Like, if you're not paying any attention to the numbers or what's being said, then it's a whole show, just like that Pennsylvania Congresswoman said. It's for political theater. And so that the fact that the NFL is threatening fines to these coaches for not wearing masks on TV tells you that it's a game to begin with. But the other thing is the NFL going to assure these coaches that by wearing masks, they're not going to get COVID-19? Because if that's the case, 85% of the people that have tested positive for COVID have tested or said that they were wearing masks. Now, regardless of what arena we're talking about, whether it's these these coaches wearing the masks or the referees wearing the masks, which just looks like a circus, no matter what propaganda they're pushing in whatever arena, it always comes down to the basic facts. And the facts are that there's a 99% survival rate for the people who get this alleged novel coronavirus. Masks are useless. social distancing is useless. There are already cures for what they're alleging a novel coronavirus. The whole thing is a show. And it looks like a setup for this great reset that people keep talking about. And the refs and these coaches are players in that game. The coaches should sue the NFL unless the NFL is willing to say, you're not going to get sick for whatever this thing is by wearing a mask.
Very high-profile college coach, Alabama's coach, Nick Saban, tested positive for this and had to sit out a game. So his mask obviously didn't work. In Europe, people are pretty smart over in Europe. You know, when I look at Premier League, referees and coaches are not wearing masks over there. Why is that?
It's like people see this and they're like, they realize how big of a show it is.
Well, you know, Europe, they don't have the politics that they have over here in the U.S. That's our show.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.